What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code DCU Pence Finest. If you watched last episode, you know Chris isn't here for this one, but it's a rare, twice in 1 week, semi-weekly episode. We will be previewing rare.
Might not be rare going forward.
Maybe not. That's to be seen. But for right now, a rare semi-weekly episode. We will be previewing Week 6 in the NFL. There is a lot going on. Eagles getting healthy. A couple teams coming off the bye week. 2 rookies are making a start. Drake May and Rattler. So that now leads us to 5 rookies who have made their debuts, with Michael Penix pending. With Kirk Cousins starting to get into form.
The best one hasn't played yet. What is going on here?
Yeah, because Rattler doesn't play till 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, so of course he hasn't played yet. But
no, I'm talking about Michael Pratt, of course.
Michael Pratt's not an NFL quarterback.
I know.
But nonetheless, that's what we'll be doing. But before we get into any of that, I want to remind you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. You're listening to this on audio platforms. Leave a 5-star, like, review, comment if you can. Of course, we always got to get started with summits and plummets.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go with the most obvious plummet of the world. Philadelphia Phillies. We're not going to talk much baseball here, but the team is going to need a complete overhaul. And I'm not just saying, I'm saying break up the daycare. Kyle Schwarber, Harper, you can stay. Trey Turner, you can stay. People are going to be mad about Turner. His bat went cold. Last year it was hot. Baseball is a hot and cold game. It's how the baseball goes. So in reality, the starting pitchers, awesome. Bullpen, awful. They have a lot of money to spend because baseball has no cap. Their owners are going to be all in. I don't think they're a real contender for Juan Soto. I think they're going to be more for like a B tier bat, and try to move some players around. Like maybe Trey goes to the outfield. So it could be trade candidates as well. Get ready to learn 0 prospects in the system after this year. So
team sucks. So I'm gonna be getting happy to learn $16 tickets again.
That would be great.
Yes, we
but
need that.
Bryce Harper would have to be off the team by then, because
free him, free Wheeler, free Casty. Who would have thought I'd ever say that? But yeah, I would say that's a pretty obvious plummet. But if you want to, there's always good in the bad, or maybe not good in the bad, but good during the bad, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I think the best plummet is it's going to be a great weekend to golf.
Golf. Are you talking you personally, or are you watching like PGA or something?
Personally, I've been starting to golf every once in a while, trying to get into it. So
can't be mad at it. Picking up hobbies and whatnot.
It is the hardest sport, harder than basketball, harder than baseball, hardest sport.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you on that one. But yeah, sounds good.
Not physically hardest. I'm talking about like tactically and mentally.
Yeah, probably because you just picked up a club for the first time like 60 days ago. So
no, not just that. Like
it is that because it's not a physically demanding game. Once you learn how to play, you're good. So
you get okay, but the problem is a lot of people like take 10 plus years to become okay.
Yeah, I guess so, but I think you're just saying that it's harder than said other sports because it's not as easy to just pick up and be good at. There's like actual.
That's fair, yeah. Because
other sports rely
on and be okay. You could pick up a soccer ball and be okay. I can shoot once in a while.
Oh, I'm so sure.
Every like 4 outings, I can shoot like 40%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I guess my summit, keeping away from football because I have a very obvious one, is basketball's almost back, I guess. Celtics are almost back. I'm pretty sure I said that last episode, but I seeing some clips from the Starting Five show on Netflix. It's made me only more eager for basketball to start. Jason Tatum dropped two of like the coldest quotes ever, but of course, because it's him, it gets hated on. He was like, "I'm gonna be honest. I skipped right to episode 10. Obviously, episode 10 was him winning the finals, and then another one was like, I don't know if the media was like trolling or like they actually thought the Mavs were gonna beat us. Which, as I said, it was like he just, I don't know. Like I agree. Like there's no way you just watched the two teams and thought the Mavericks were gonna win. There was just no way. That was like complete hate. There was no thought process behind it, to put it that way. At a Plummet, Liberty blew a big lead last night. Series is far from over. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. The Lynx have gave them their toughest challenge all year. But it sucks. You kind of do just have to win that one. You're up 14 late in the fourth. You just got to close that one. You even get a second shot at it in OT. It was just a complete disaster by the group. Stewie didn't have a good game. Ionescu didn't have a good game. I feel like the only ones who really came up to play was
Sabrina had a tough
Convo
basket in
Jones.
overtime, though.
Yeah, Sabrina, that was what 7 of her 25 shots that went in. Yeah, that's not showing up. So
I know it's not showing up, but she did have a basket when it counted to cut the lead down.
Shouldn't be in that situation. If she shoots normal, even if she could shoot 40 something percent, the game is way out of reach for the Lynx. So
The game should have been
yeah,
out of reach, just
yeah,
below it.
and it would have helped if Sabrina Ionescu shot normally and didn't put on her best Sabrina 3 years ago impression. So hopefully they can bounce back. But we're not too worried about that. On every single episode, you will see me wearing some kind of hat, whether it's a snapback, whether it's a dad style hat. I always got to have something to complete the outfit. And the only place where I get my hats is lids.com. Lids.com has so many different brands, and of course, they have a bunch of different styles. Like I just said, it could be dad hat, snapback, it could be fitted, it could be Velcro back. Whatever you want, they got it. And with the NFL season coming up, I know you're going to want to rock and represent your favorite squad. Me personally, I'm a big Eagles guy, and I love this 47 brand throwback hat that I got from lids.com. Or if you're more of a snapback guy, I also got this NBA champions Boston Celtics new era cap from lids.com as well. If you like either of those hats and you feel like you want one to represent your squad, click the link in the description below. Whether it's new era or 47, both links will take you right to lids.com. And the best thing about Lids, they always have some type of deal going on their website. So make sure you click that link and check out any deals they got going on at lids.com. But yeah, we can get into the week 6 preview. We can talk some football.
Yeah.
I would say, did you want to start with anything specific? Oh, by the way, we did record this after Thursday Night Football. I don't believe we have two.
I choose the Niners. I choose the Niners to win.
What do you mean you choose the Niners to win?
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Yeah, but that was like a horror. Like I don't leave. Like anyway, leave the comedic relief to everyone else. What game do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the London game, Jaguars Bears?
Jags Bears. We're gonna Prince that with promise versus the new kid on the block, Caleb Williams, who's looked really fantastic over the last few weeks. Starting to settle in. He can beat pressure. He can kind of throw on the run. He can evade pressure in the pocket. So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a do or die for the Jags. If you lose, Dougie P, you're not leaving London, dude. Get ready to learn English. So
that wasn't the best way. You probably should have been like, get ready to learn like crumpets or something. Crumpets, I know. Whatever. Again, he knows
learn English.
This is what I'm saying. English. Keep the comedic relief to everyone else.
Learn the English.
I'll say this. The Jaguars are like low-key already dead in the water at 1-4. I don't know if 2-4 saves their season, but it saves Doug Peterson another week. But I would say as for
dagger,
Caleb and the Bears, offensively, especially over the last 2 weeks. Granted, their opponents have been the Panthers, and it's who did they play before that? They played the Rams, but the Rams aren't necessarily the hottest defense in the world either. Caleb's been really good against pressure. I believe the PFF stats had him like, I think he was like 7 for 7 against pressure with a touchdown. He's doing an absolute, and that's the thing when it comes to the good and great quarterbacks, and that's what makes Jaden Daniels' season so impressive so far. Is Daniels and Williams, their ability to face pressure. I talked about this last episode as well. Their ability to face pressure, regardless of what their offensive line looks like, it's what makes them great, and that's what made Lawrence great in the beginning of things, despite having a absolutely horrible offensive line. Offensive line isn't even good now. His pocket presence is what gotten him so far, and he's lost that touch just a little bit, it seems, this year. But last week, offense had a big day. Brian Thomas is slowly but surely coming that number one guy for Lawrence. So Brian Thomas, he is lining up against Jalen Johnson, one of the 5 best corners in the NFL, if not top 3. So it's going to be a big challenge for that Jaguars wide receiver room, who doesn't necessarily stack the wins as much as you'd like at that position against a stout defense like the Bears. And then the Bears the Jaguars haven't been able to stop anyone all year. So I expect the Bears to pick up where they left off against Carolina. I expect Williams to stack another great game. And one last thing about Williams before I pass it back to you or we move on is he's never going to win a Pepsi Rookie of the Week because it's fan voted. He's just never going to win it because Jaden Daniels had his breakout game first. He's outperformed Daniels, I would say, the last 3 weeks. Me personally,
I'll tell you something now. Jaden Daniels, if they beat the Ravens, I want to go into that game next.
Could be. Yeah, it's a 1:00. Yeah, we can go right to it. But
we'll be getting some MVP talks.
No, he's not.
He's not going to win MVP, but I think people are going to start bringing him up in the MVP. I don't think he should be.
I'm just saying. People's logic is so
I'm not saying
backwards.
It's my logic. I'm saying the media will start putting in an MVP conversation.
Yeah, I'm very well aware, but people have it so ass backwards. It's like, oh, he's not going to win it because he's a rookie. No, he's only in the conversation because he's a rookie. Because quite frankly, Jaden Daniels, while having a good season, great season for a rookie, is definitely not MVP level.
Lamar Jackson, he is the MVP right now.
If Lamar Jackson is your MVP, I think that's a great one. After the 0-2 start, the Ravens have been effectively unstoppable on offense.
41 points. Granted, you're playing the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, and here's the thing about the Commanders: the last 3 defensive, we'll go through all the defensive played. The Buccaneers semi slowed them down, held them in 20 points. The Giants. The Commanders scored on every drive, so I don't want to be too harsh on that. They just didn't end in any touchdowns, but they get the win. You're going to get into the Bengals defense, which has been horrible. Everybody's gotten their way on them, besides the Patriots, and the Patriots still won that game. So the Bengals, you have the Cardinals defense, who is, I'm not going to say bad, insanely inconsistent. They could be bad. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but they're at least at the bare minimum insanely inconsistent. The Browns, who, not to say like, oh, they were disengaged and you got lucky, but they tore them up a little bit, and just no one on the Browns defense had a good day.
The Browns defense is bad because the Browns offense is bad. Their offense is giving them in bad field position, giving them the ball. The teams are averaging way more possessions against the Browns defense. So if you have 10 possessions on average against a team, and the Browns defense is facing 15 or 17, or I don't know what the numbers are, it's not gonna look pretty.
Yeah, and then so here's my real worry for Daniels and the offense is that now they're facing the Ravens, and so you think of the last couple teams, they either didn't have an absolute defensive captain or someone who's going to wreak havoc, or it was Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett's on the line. It's not someone that directly, while he is opposed against Jaden Daniels, now he's going to face someone that he has to fight eye battles with. He's going to have to call out Roquan blitzing, or he's going to have to manipulate Kyle Hamilton with his eyes, and it's going to be a tough challenge. Marlon Humphrey has played a little bit better over the past 2 games. Not really Marlon Humphrey that we used to know, but that'll certainly be something to watch. I want to see hopefully a little bit more Nate Wiggins usage. Point being, This is going to be the best defense they've played all year. And if they stink it up, that is okay. Like it's fine. If Jaden Daniels acts like a rookie, that's fine. It's because that's what he is. As for the Ravens, though, the Ravens need to go out and handle this defense. This defense has had their way with some pretty bad offenses. Again, the Cardinals inconsistent. Browns, they don't even have an offense. But it's seen Joe Burrow and the Bengals tore apart the Commanders' defense. I think the Ravens are capable of doing that too. So I would have the Ravens in this one. But this is going to be a little. This is going to be a little bit of like MJ versus Kobe type of thing with Lamar versus Daniels type of thing, just because they have similar play styles.
Yeah, they might eat you alive for that one. I like the comparison though.
No one's gonna eat me alive for that. If any, people love Jaden Daniels, so maybe I'll get. Well, people like Jaden Daniels, but they don't like Lamar, so I don't know. But
they're gonna be like, "Who's Kobe? Who's MJ?"
Well, if they're if they use their brains for 2 seconds, maybe the older guy is MJ and the younger guy is Kobe.
Maybe the guy with 2 MVPs is MJ.
Yeah, maybe the Hall of Fame lock is Michael Jordan, but
yeah.
I would say we can move. I would say if while we were talking about the Browns offense and defense, if there's a week for them to entirely bounce back, why not do it against Philadelphia Eagles? The Eagles ain't stopped nobody all year.
One team will enter Philadelphia and have their season maybe saved. The other team is going to fire their coach.
And it's crazy because Stefanski just doesn't deserve to be fired.
No, Stefanski.
Yeah, no, it's insane. He has what do you even want him to do
with legend play?
Fairs. So, but looking at this game, okay, but yes, true. I would say the loser of this game, the Eagles might not do it, but they should consider, like, very, very consider it. If you haven't already fired them, probably fire them if they lose this game. Because you look at this defensive line has not had a great game of pressure since the New Orleans game. Really, that's the only game that they created some good pressure. And that was against a banged up Saints line. And then this Browns line is banged up too. So this is an opportunity for Josh Huff to show you what he's made of. It's an opportunity for Bryce Huff. Apologies. I'm thinking of old Eagles and Oregon legend Josh Huff. This is an opportunity for Bryce Huff to get after the quarterback, be worth his contract even a little bit. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis to make more noise on the interior offensive line, just like they did against New Orleans. And, of course, whoever you're rotating on the other side, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith, those guys, it's a chance to make your name against the backup tackles.
I don't know what it is. Josh Sweat looks like he doesn't have juice.
Yeah, no, he has no juice. And I credit all that to him changing his number to 19.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Took all his aura. 94 was so much better.
94 was so much better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then as for the secondary, if they can get pressure on Watson, Watson's going to either not throw the ball or throw the ball and make bad decisions. So this is a chance Quinion Mitchell's going to have his hands full with Amari Cooper. And that's crazy because Amari Cooper might not even be that could be his worst number one matchup so far, considering he's had to cover Jaden Reed, Drake London, Chris Olave, Mike Evans, and now Amari Cooper. Not to say this is a gauntlet for a cornerback one. This is a good lineup of receivers, though, considering a lot of those dudes also have some pretty solid twos that he'll find himself against. So I'm interested in that. Of course, we have Darius Slay, who really needs to have a good game. Like, incredibly needs to have a good game. Not necessarily because he's been overly bad this season. I mean, he's allowing a pretty high passer rating, but I wouldn't say he's a complete liability on the field. It's more so the way he acts. He's acting like he's, however many All-Pro, Pro Bowl level corner Darius Slay, but you're just not that anymore. We just need you to be Quinion's sidekick. So he needs to go out and have a solid game. And of course, I believe Cooper DeJean is going to be starting in nickel. I'm very excited.
Thank the Lord, because
I'm very
Devontae Maddox.
excited to see that against a Browns team that probably is going to want to try to run the ball. Coop, while I'm not the biggest fan of him in man coverage, I'm a fan of him tackling and his zone coverage. And of course, Gardner Johnson also has to have a big game, but he holds himself a little bit more accountable, so I can let that slide.
Nick Chubb was limited on Thursday. Probably going to sit out this week.
Which is fine by me.
Um,
I have no complaints about that. Because I mean, if he wanted to play, he'd play. I'm pretty sure he's clear.
I don't think Chubb's going to be here. Look, if the Browns lose this week, I sit Chubb for another week too. Your season's basically down the drain. You don't want to
Well,
rush him back.
again, that's not kind of up to the doctors. If he's physically cleared, he's going to play because he loves football. So
He's a beast at football too.
Nick Chubb's played on worse Browns teams past his ACL, a previous ACL injury. So the point being, I mean, I get your point. I'd like to see him play just because.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see the best players play. Any thoughts on the Eagles' offense though?
They're getting all of their players back. The Avengers have been reassembled. The Batman light and different franchise. But the Batman light is shining in the sky, to be more precise.
Yeah.
Both Batmans are here. So the Eagles are gonna take advantage of that. Devonta Smith, AJ Brown. AJ Brown probably could have played last week before the bye. Decided not to. Probably for the better because the Bucks bet out a belt and for 60 minutes.
Well, I think if AJ plays that game, obviously that doesn't change the defense, but the offense at least, you have a Jalen Hurts strip sack in plus territory that would have made it a 1-score game, and even just starting out the game, if you're going to start out throwing the ball, there's no for sure guy going to. It's like AJ Brown is one of those guys that I believe can change the entire outlook of an offense. So
I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know if he wins them the Bucks game, but we walk out of that game feeling a lot better about our offense at least. But a lot of people don't even feel bad about the Eagles offense so far because in 4 games, week 1, they put up 300 plus yards despite Hurts making some of the dumbest throws I've ever seen. They put up 30 plus points when everybody's healthy with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. Week 2, they get the yards. They're just not putting the points on the board, but the yards are there. They're driving down the field at will. Week 3, same thing. Driving down the field at will with those last 2 games without AJ Brown. And then in the Saints, Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley close it out with swole and skinny. So, you head into the Bucks game with absolutely nobody, and you don't run Saquon as much as you should run a $40 million back. That makes me believe that, I don't know if you feel the same way. The Bucks game, watching that game made me think there was like a unsaid Nick Sirianni took back the play calling for a game.
I
Because
think Kellen
Moore has never called a game like that, at least through the first 4 weeks.
Super vanilla, super. We don't want to. We don't have Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. Let's just not make adjustments.
It was very lay down and die. That's what it felt like.
To be fair, the Bucks have an amazing defensive front.
They do, but again, the Eagles, when running the ball, found success. Saquon is going to break 1 per game. That's the type of.
He's Saquon Barkley.
Exactly. He's been arguably the best running back in the NFL this season. Him or Henry,
Yes.
or I would say it's him or Henry. I think it's close, but Saquon, when given the touches, has been absolutely incredible. So, and rely on Dallas Goedert more. Like, this is a paid tight end. Yeah, he drops the one that Hurts kind of put it on him, and it happens. But you don't just go away from Dallas Goedert. I do want to praise Paris Campbell. Was one of my training camp favorites. I thought he was actually going to win the wide receiver 3 job. Unfortunately, gets hurt, and then Johnny Wilson ends up beating him for it. Not that either of those dudes at wide receiver 3 makes you feel great, and hopefully Covey can come back soon. But, this offense needs a big day. This offense, I don't know if they're going to blow this team out because of who the defense is. But I would like a 30-plus performance from the offense. If the defense can hold up their end of the bargain and make, get the offense off the field to make the Browns defense tired, it's very well possible.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're 3 games through that slate. Um, did you want to jump to the rookie games? Did we want to talk Texans Patriots or what are your thoughts on the Patriots finally giving Drake May the nod?
Yeah, I think this is well overdue. I think it should have happened like week 3. I think it should have happened middle of the Jets game when they were playing the Jets. Awful. Jacoby Brissett looked awful, and I think that ultimately came down to they didn't want to risk May losing confidence. But at some point, you gotta just play him, dude. You gotta let him get experience. Like he's not gonna gain anything from watching Jacoby Brissett. If it was like a good quarterback, like Aaron Rodgers or like guy with experience, different story. Jacoby Brissett has experience. He's not the greatest. I think he's a decent mentor, though. Not to knock him. I think he's probably a decent mentor.
Yeah, from what Gerard Mayo has said about Jacoby Brissett, and just from what we knew already, ultimate pros pro. But I do have to agree. Like even Michael Penix is sitting behind a Kirk Cousins, who I would probably say he's better than Alex Smith than when Mahomes was sitting behind Alex Smith. So it's still a good mentor to have. And Jacoby Brissett is a good mentor. You can still learn things from him. But when it comes to just what May is able to do with the football, there's not really a lot of things Brissett can teach him besides maybe like reading coverages and things like that. May, though, physically, looking at some numbers, the Patriots are like the worst in the league in sack rate, or
But Pop
allowing sack
Douglas,
rate.
number one separation against man coverage.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that for a second. But referring to the trenches for this matchup specifically, where like Houston is like number one in pressure rate, and or they're really up there in pressure rate. I know that off the top of my head. I also know off the top of my head that I think the Patriots are dead last in sack and pressure rate. So was this maybe the best week to throw your guy into the fire? No, but like I agree with you. Like for one, he played better than Brissett in preseason, and you could also see he handled the bad offensive line better than Brissett did in preseason. Brissett was taking sacks, unnecessary, like getting to reads late, and just not able to make throws out of a bad pocket that guys like May can. So I think while the not to say the Patriots sack rate, pressure rate is misleading, I think it can just get better with May. And another thing is the Houston isn't exactly great against the run either. Probably something that they can rely on. And I would personally like to see them get May involved in the run game. Of course, slide, run out of bounds, all those good things. But he's an athlete, and we know this. So that's something I would like to see. But back to your point about Pop Douglas, he's been getting separations, just either there's not enough time or Brissett doesn't see him. Polk has been a pleasant surprise through a couple weeks. So there are pieces there, to attack Houston through the air. Now against Stingley and Lassiter, I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. We'll see. And about the confidence thing, um, a lot of people like to bring up Bryce Young. It's like, oh, Bryce Young was put in a horrible situation and now his confidence broken. I'm like, okay, well, here's one thing. Drake May is a lot better than Bryce Young under pressure. I could tell that through 3 preseason games that he knows when to bail the pocket. He can sit in there. And that was his thing at UNC because he didn't have a great line at UNC, but he stood in there and he would deliver while taking hits with hands in his face. And he was extremely accurate with it. Another thing is he's just going to let it rip. It's hard to take a confidence from a guy who has Josh Allen's brain, as me and you have referenced a couple times. So I'm not really worried about the confidence. If he goes out there, has a horrible game against a Super Bowl contending Houston Texans team, no big deal. I think he's going to be fine. I'm not predicting an upset. I have Houston in this game. I think we're going to walk out of this game feeling good about Drake May, though.
I think we're gonna walk out of this game. Where it's that Christian Gonzalez locked down Stephon Diggs or Tank Dell. Nico Collins not on the field. People forgetting that. Joe
Like
Mixon still banged
literally
up.
carrying my team.
So
Yeah,
I think this game's
yeah.
gonna be a lot closer. It's gonna be more of a defensive minded game, and I'm not taking the Patriots, but the Patriots do tend to win games that are defensively minded. So
Yeah, and through, I would say the only teams to truly have their number, like have their defensive number, I would say is the Niners. Like, yeah, they got thumped by the Jets like 24-3, but they couldn't get off the field. And that's not even like, oh, they couldn't get off field third and long, things like that. It was like Brissett could just not keep the Patriots offense on the field long enough. And that's not necessarily Brissett's fault. The line was getting absolutely destroyed. And that was kind of the main game where people were like, yeah, like May can't play in this game.
Yeah, I was
But
there. That was pretty wild.
May operates a drive the moment he gets in there. Doesn't cap it off with a touchdown, but
We ran out of time.
Those who noticed. He did almost throw a pick the first play, but that was about
That
the
was
only
hilarious.
play. Yeah, that would have been bad. But
Welcome to the NFL moment.
The Niners are the only offense that really got this Patriots defense's number. So now that you pointed out, how will Stroud and the Texans adjust? No Mixon. They've already had to do it for a couple weeks. No Collins. Luckily, you have Diggs, who's very capable of being a wide receiver one in this league, and is, I would still say, one of the 15 best receivers in football, especially with the resurgence this year. He's looked absolutely great. Dell, how are you going to adjust to getting back into this wide receiver 2 role? He's better than Quez Watkins. I'm just throwing an example back out there. Quez used to be a 2. They bumped into a 3, and his production fell. And then late in the season last year, they said, hey, you trying to be a 2 again? And they were like, it didn't work out. So that's more so my point. Yeah. So
looking at, I have 2 more games to kind of look at. We can kind of, I want to look at the Lions Cowboys and Bills Jets, but before that, we can just kind of fly through the rest of the early slate.
Hey, we can't fly through the rest of the slate. We can give a quick like one to Colts Titans. Anthony Richardson is dealing with another injury. Apparently, the Titans aren't good. There's not a lot going on. It is a division matchup, so it is going to be huge. I do think the Colts still win, though. Joe Flacco can. Yeah. But before we finish the slate, there is another rookie making their first start, and it's Spencer Rattler against the division rival Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, I'm not picking the Saints to win this game, but I could see a lot of the same things for Rattler. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of play action, a lot of Shanahan stuff, a lot of RPOs to get easy looks. It's possible to drive on this Buccaneers defense. Sure. It's just a matter of what's up?
Eagles were driving.
Yeah. So, and that was with wide receiver 1 Paris Campbell. So, from what I've heard, even dating back from training camp, Olave's had good things to say about Rattler, and Rattler has nothing but good things to say about Olave. I think there's a connection there. Of course, in game, might take a little bit of adjusting. We'll see. And another thing Rattlers like to do, we've known it since Pinnacle back in Arizona. He loves to let the ball rip. And luckily, you have one of the fastest players in the NFL, Rashid Shaheed, on your side, who's been probably the best deep thrower in the NFL this season. He only catches bombs. It's very Deshaun Jackson.
With Deshaun Jackson, I was about to say.
See, there we go. We're on that wavelength. But that's where we're kind of at with the Saints. It's just a matter of, can we get a run game going? Can we get some RPO going? Just get easy throws going, kind of like you did for Carr through the first 2 weeks of the season. Do it for the more talented Rattler. We'll see how that goes. As for the other side of the ball, if Cameron Jordan doesn't stop putting on his best Celtics Shaq impression, Baker Mayfield's going to light up this defense, like point blank period. But I guess the true question I have for you is, who is winning the semi-annual fight? Lattimore or Evans?
Evans is here.
Fair. I think I got Evans as well. I think Lattimore is sneaky watch.
Lattimore's starting to get to that Tre'Davious White category.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's still a good corner, don't get me wrong, but it's almost starting to be a name where Evans is still balling.
Evans will retire balling.
If we had to decide before we move on for this game, how do you believe the fight starts?
He's gonna go head top on him.
He's gonna go head top on him. He's gonna get angry. Okay, here's mine. I think Rattler. It's gonna be post game. Mike Evans is gonna be saying something to Rattler, Lattimore is gonna, just look for an excuse to fight him, and then he'll be like, "Yo, don't touch my quarterback" or something like that. That's what I say. Rattler will be he'll be the enzyme to this all.
Rattler MVP season coming.
Yes, stealing rookie of the year from fraud Daniels and Williams. It's on the way.
It's coming.
Yeah,
They
but
said
we
Spencer
can.
Rattler looks like Mahomes if he had a white dad and a black mom.
Dude, they said he looks like Cannon Curry, like his son. That's crazy. They say they grow up so fast. I mean, if we're gonna go into this 4 o'clock window, we might as well kick it off with the black and yellow versus the black and silver. This is about as 70s as it gets.
Is Marcus Allen playing this weekend?
Marcus Allen, Franco Harris, where y'all at, man? Where y'all at? The game needs you. And these teams could probably use you as well.
Terry Bradshaw, the Raiders could use you.
Terry Bradshaw, Jim Plunkett, where are you guys? But yeah, I mean, this is a staple throwback matchup. I believe Aiden O'Connell is making the start in this game. That's just absolutely asking you to. And here's the thing: while we were just talking about May can't, or people are skeptical about May playing against behind a bad offensive line. Aiden O'Connell is immobile and playing behind a bad offensive line. That has to face TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig. So that's a little different. I have the Steelers winning this game. They're 3-point favorites on the road, so really they're about a touchdown favorite. I have them winning this game. The offense, I hope they can have a bounce back day. Fields, I want him to get back to getting to that middle of the field, spreading the defense, hopefully opening up a run game. Najee Harris, I know he's usually not that good through the first half of the year, and he gets better as it gets colder. But it'd be really nice if you could step it up now. So, yeah, we shall see. But I have the Steelers.
Yeah, I think the Steelers can win here. Pat Fryermuth looking for a big day if he plays. Pickens, show me something. You look really awful the last few weeks, so I need to see more. I need to see some juice. I need to see some fight out of you if you're going to be a franchise wide receiver. And Steelers, if you want Devontae Adams, go beat their ass in front of him.
Yeah, this is almost like an audition. If you're the Steelers offense in particular, I mean, Devontae Adams probably knows TJ Watt is an absolute menace. He knows Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's been over the middle plenty of times against Minkah Fitzpatrick. He knows it's not sweet. It's about the offense. Justin Fields, can you look like a guy who could get him the ball and not get him, fighting for his life, as he said last season?
I'm going to tell you something. Most overrated player in the league is Minkah Fitzpatrick.
You think most overrated player in the league is Minkah? I'd have to disagree. I'm going
to let you guess. Last time he had an interception.
That's not how you judge a safety.
He's a safety.
That's not.
It's not how you judge a safety.
That's not how you judge a safety. I don't know. 2 seasons ago.
Middle of week 2022. Yeah.
Yeah. But that doesn't matter to me. The interceptions don't tell me how good he is. Phenomenal tackler. Still one of the best center fielders in the NFL, and is a highly respected player.
He's highly respected. I just think he's a little overrated.
I think you may see it that way because
I don't know. People think he's the best safety in the league. I just don't think that's true.
Well, that's not true. Not in the world of Jesse Bates and Kyle Hamilton.
And you forgot there's one more. Xavier McKinney. He's a baller.
And Xavier McKinney. Yes, I do need to start saying Xavier McKinney when I'm talking about the best safeties in the league. I really do. He's been really good for Green Bay. So okay, we can move on. I would say we can move on to the other game. You said you want to talk Lions Cowboys, right?
Lions Cowboys is going to be kind of peak cinema. It's this game that
could be.
you almost look forward to on Thanksgiving every year. So I don't know why it's this year. Like they both play on Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah, but they can't play each other on
they
Thanksgiving.
could.
But that would be peak. That would be peak. But you
We
would have to
could,
set up 4 other teams to play on Thanksgiving
yeah,
instead of, well, which you do anyway, but
yeah.
it's
But
normally like people, it's Lions in the morning after you get back from wherever you're at. Dinner is Cowboys. Dessert is, I don't know, whoever it may be. But
the Chiefs. Anyway,
yeah, Chiefs Steelers.
no, that's Christmas.
Oh, it's Christmas. Oh, yeah, I got it wrong. I got it wrong.
They play on Wednesday.
They just want to have a Christmas game. They just want to compete with the NBA. I'll be
They're
watching
trying to,
both. You can't make me choose.
yeah, Stream East.
Not
Thank you.
Hulu
But
on 2
anyway,
screens.
we will say. I think the game's going to be pure cinema. I think that Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb have a really important job. Their defense isn't good. The Lions' defense is not good. Pick at the part their corners immediately. Go up the seams with Jake Ferguson, and stay out of pressure. If you get behind, if the Lions' run game is good enough where if you're behind, they're just going to pound the rock down your throat. And guess what? Micah Parsons, you're out of the game.
Yeah,
He's out.
that's
He's probably
the
out. So you don't have the edge pressure to let the Lions do that. I'm going to take the Lions here. I think the Lions get back on schedule. The Cowboys almost lost to the Steelers, and the Steelers put up 3 points in the first half. Was not pretty. It was a little sloppy. The field was kind of wet from hurricane nothing. It's random rain. But yeah, I think the Lions win here. I think the Lions get back on track as being one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Cowboys kind of fall off to this nowhere land where they're 3-3. They're probably not going to win the division at 3-3. And they're going to be questioned. There's going to be a lot of questions, and I think it might lead to Mike McCarthy getting fired at the end of the year if he doesn't do it good enough.
Yeah, and everything you said is absolutely true. With the Cowboys down DeMarcus Lawrence, down Micah Parsons, you're already one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL, and now you're going to get hit with this double-headed horse of Gibbs and Montgomery. The Lions are 3-point favorites on the road, so again, more like a 6-7 point favorite. I agree with you. I'm going to go with the Lions, but one thing the Cowboys like to do is play to their competition level. If they're going against the top of the NFC or some of the top teams in the league, they're going to give them their best shot. If they're going against, no offense, I'm just talking offensively, the Steelers, they play to that level, but the Steelers defense is also insane. So, yeah, but I have the Lions winning this one. I think they get out ahead, and then like you said, from there, just run the ball. Dak's going to put up gaudy numbers because he's my fantasy quarterback, and I need that. But if there is a key to Dallas winning, I guess it's just keeping the game close and not letting the Lions necessarily pound the rock all game, make them throw the ball, which again isn't exactly the biggest recipe for success. Oh no, make Jared Goff throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo. That's not necessarily a good thing, but you'd prefer that than them running and just absolutely decimating this defense, which puts more pressure on the offense to get slow, methodical drives. And soon you know it, you're down 7 and there's 57 seconds left, and the Lions have the ball for whatever reason. But yeah, I agree. This could be a really good game. This is a great Fox game of the week. I'm pretty sure it's Fox game of the week. I don't believe it's Falcons Panthers, which Kirk Cousins is going to absolutely obliterate that team, by the way. And Drake London's going to have another great game. One of my favorite sons. Not much to say about Bengals Giants. Bengals, you don't win that game, your season's over. And then there's Chargers Broncos. Broncos won their last 3. Chargers coming off the bye. I don't expect too much. This will be an ugly game for sure.
Yeah.
But I do want to pick someone. I'm going to pick the Chargers. I think a healthy Herbert, and I don't know if Alt is back. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he was put on IR or not. But
Alt should be back. We'll see.
yeah, Herbert's questionable with an ankle.
Bills Jets. Winner of the game gets Devontae Adams.
Bills Jets winner gets Adams. Yeah, I would say the Bills need to be more in on Devontae Adams because I'm just not a big fan of this wide receiver room, especially.
Remember Marcel Reese, the Raiders fullback?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he said that the Bills are the sleep. He went on K Adams and said that the Bills are the sleeper.
They should be. I think I don't know whether he's saying that based off inside info or he's saying that based on real analysis, but I think they should. Well, for one, the Bills, Khalil Shakir is great. He'd be a good wide receiver too. I don't know about a wide receiver one though. And when he gets out, you're relying on Keon Coleman and you're relying on the tight ends of Kincaid and Knox, who are great, not game changers though. So
Yeah.
you need someone who's going to break the game open. But as for this game specifically, it's a tough matchup where your below average receivers are going against probably the best secondary in the NFL, bare minimum AFC. So I don't know how they're going to react. I don't know if Josh Allen hero ball will be enough here, but I'll expect them to run the ball and hopefully they can get some dink and dunk and maybe Allen can make enough plays because I feel even worse about the Jets, who just fired one of the best defensive head coaches in the NFL for an issue that's not necessarily related to him. Just for the interim head coach to do what Saleh was going to do in demoting Nate Hackett and play calling. So maybe while getting a good matchup defensively, while having better play calling, this could call for a Jets win and hopefully a season saver and interim boost, is very real. So I actually think I sneaky talked myself into the Jets. I think I'm gonna go with the Jets with this one just because of the new play calling. I don't know too much about the new play caller, but
He's
it's
bad.
I would say it's different
Apparently,
than Hackett. So
when he was calling plays in Tennessee, he was like 31st ranked play caller.
now
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I don't know. I was hoping just something different from Hackett would be better, but
It could be better.
let
I
me
do
see
want
my
to say
guns pre-show. I'm gonna go with the Bills.
the Denver Broncos are a team to watch for the first time ever.
Are you talking about the Chargers
No,
and
just a team
Broncos
to
game
watch.
or just in general?
The Broncos, if they don't lose to the Steelers, are 4-1.
That's true. It's I mean the defense is absolutely stout. The defense is for real. Pat Surtain is
I'm
building
gonna
a.
read the amount of points they give up. Right, the last 4 weeks, 18. Now they give up 18, 9, 7, and 13. 18, 9, 7, and 13. You put up 20 points each week, you win. And they unfortunately Bo Nix, uh, Steelers absolutely confused them week 2. That's rookie quarterback versus veteran head coach. Simple story. So the Broncos are a team to watch down the stretch. Their next few games, they do have the Chargers, the Saints, the Panthers. The Ravens and Chiefs is going to be a bad stretch. Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons could get bad for them.
Yeah, so better now to try to get this win against the Chargers because you're gonna really be in the hellhole. But I would still take the Chargers in this game. But I do have to respect their defense. I do have to respect Bo Nix putting some serviceable games back to back. He had a pretty good game, I would say, last week.
Yeah,
Didn't turn the ball over, put points on the board. What more do you want from your rookie quarterback? I will say something really weird about them though. They had the you see all the press conference clip where they asked Sean Payton and they asked Bo Nix about what their conversation was on the sideline, and I don't know. Sean Payton talked about him as if he was like a dog who needs training or something, and then Bo Nix was just like, "Oh yeah, he said I love you. I told him I love him back." Like clearly, like that is the better move. Like don't tell them what happened. It's a head coach quarterback disagreement. And it happens
one of these.
all the time. It's entirely. They didn't even hit one of those. They were just yelling at each other, which I
I
don't
know,
know what
but
it was about. Yeah, it's just like, well, they can yell at each other. It's just like with unhand covered and everything. It's just like deal with it better in the media. Don't be like, oh, Bo Nix is a bad dog and I'm putting him down if he doesn't start behaving. Where Bo Nix is actually a very good boy, and he says, "My owner didn't do. We didn't do anything. We just played all day. Whole time your owner was just yelling at you." But I thought Nix handled that great. I just wanted to say that, and that kind of just shows his experience as a football player.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anything else we wanted to talk about from this week? Do we want to predict Rattler over under 300 plus yards?
Now we have our hots and locks.
Oh, did we? Oh, did you want to do that this week?
Yeah, we'll do it this week.
Yeah,
Hots and
we
locks,
might as
bring it
well.
back.
We might as well. Here, hold on. I just wanna jot them down, but yeah. I guess floor is yours. Did you want to do both at once, or do we both do a hot and then a lock?
We can both do hots and then we'll give it the locks.
Okay, yeah, you can
So the
start.
my hot take is that none other than the Denver Broncos put up 350 yards of offense and beat the Chargers.
Okay, Broncos 350 and a win. Okay. Okay, I guess I can do mine then. Mine is going to be the Cardinals, 5-point dogs to the Packers. They go into Lambeau and get a win. Their first non-NFC West win of the season. Their offense, the Packers' offense has been very up and down. Cardinals' offense has been very up and down, but coming off of a win against San Fran, I think they can build something here. So yeah, I'm gonna have the Cardinals get pulling the upset win there. Oh, and just to add to it, Kyler will have 2 passing, 1 rushing.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I'll go to my lock. My lock is pretty simple. It's the Ravens. It's the Ravens victory. Ravens are at home. They're playing the Commanders. You're gonna be like, man, why the Commanders? It's not a lot. The Ravens will own the Commanders. They might beat them by 3 scores.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm scared to lock that game just because Commanders are 4-1. I do want to respect what they have going on there. I'm not opposed to that one though. My lock will be I'm gonna have Tampa Bay over New Orleans as my lock. Is my logic maybe I'm either right or I'm happy? Maybe. But you know the Saints they've been skidding the last couple weeks. The Buccaneers have been one of the best offenses in the NFL the entire year. I like the matchup. I think Baker's going to eat them alive. Mike Evans only knows destroying the Saints. So I'm going to have the Bucks. Even though there are more obvious ones on the board, I'm still going to go with that one. Like Bengals Giants.
I don't know, man. That's gonna be a good close game.
It could be. It could be because the Bengals do love a troll. But yeah. So did we have anything else to add on before we get on out of here?
Nah, I think that's all we got. It's a pretty long episode for just 2 of us.
Yeah. I would say our last episode was about like 52, 53, something like that. So this just shows how much we really compromise when we have to do all 3 of us, even if the episodes are pushing 80 minutes or whatever it may be. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you're again watching this on YouTube, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave a like, subscribe, or leave a like, 5-star review, comment if you can. Follow the channel if you can. From AP New Freezer, DC Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week. Enjoy some football.